Partition Who murdered Mahatma Gandhi? To prepare this little nugget, I had to purloin most of it from a far greater man than myself. That is from Rajinder Puri in his article in the Statesman of 2nd October 09, which was entitled "Why Gandhi's Silence on Partition." Mr. Puri makes it quite clear that Gandhi never wavered in his resolve either to prevent or to undo partition. The reason he could not prevent it was that Mountbatten had persuaded both Nehru and Patel to support Jinnah's stand on partition. So the only people in the Congress party who opposed it were very junior luminaries like Jai Prakash Narayan and Ram Mohan Lohia. Gandhi knew that they could not win a vote, so he took a day of silence in order to reserve his position and allow for freedom of action to oppose partition later when there was a chance of success. If he had not been murdered, there is a definite possibility that he might have dissolved partition eventually. Most probably, he was killed in order to prevent that happening. This is rather like the murder of John F. Kennedy. He was murdered only after Khrushchev agreed to collaborate with USA on the space program. Some super patriots, possibly including Lyndon Johnson himself, did not want that to happen. But now everyone knows the truth, whatever the government says. The question is, in whose interest was it to murder Gandhi? Who had a motive? Who had an opportunity? Rajinder Puri claims that the British had a motive to kill Gandhi. He says it was in their own national interest to keep the subcontinent divided. But is this true? He has not explained how this could have been if Pakistan remained as a Muslim theocratic state. Then the RSS stood a chance of turning India into a Hindu theocratic state called Hindustan, which is what they wanted then and still want now. Yeah. As regards opportunities, Rajinder Puri claims that before the murderer of Gandhi, Nathuram Godse, left Mumbai for Delhi to shoot Gandhi, he stayed in a house in Mumbai which was under the controlled surveillance of the Intelligence Bureau, the ID. Because the occupant of the house was under a police case already for illegal possession of firearms. This may be so. But remember, the timing was in January, February 1948, 5 months after the British had handed over the government of India to Nehru. It is extremely unlikely that British officers still had control of the Intelligence Bureau in Mumbai, and very likely that it contained a good number of British had ever wanted to murder Gandhi. They had ample opportunity before August 1947. After partition occurred, Gandhi revealed his resolve to undo it by bringing India and Pakistan together again. He went on a fast to compel the Indian government to pay proper compensation to Pakistan. This strengthened his credibility with Pakistan. It also pleased Mountbatten himself, Gandhi then wrote to Jinnah, seeking to settle down in Pakistan in order to work for India-Pakistan unity. Jinnah agreed. That's a fact. This proves that Jaswant Singh's version of events is not far wide remark. Jinnah invited Gandhi to Lahore, the real hub of Pakistan, with 50 refugee families from Delhi's Purana Quilla camp. One member of the Punjabi families that had volunteered to accompany Gandhi in his march to Lahore was the historian K.K. Kula, then 16 years old. The plan to start the march on 14th February 1948 was finalized, but 2 weeks before, on 30th of January, Nathuram Godse shot Gandhi. I did my B.Ed at St. Xavier's College, Calcutta in 1969. Our history professor told us that up to 1857, the Hindus supported the British in order to prevent the Muslims from coming back to power. But after 1857, the Muslims supported the British to stop the type of Hindu majority rule that they feared would come in case of independence. This is a broad generalization, and there were many exceptions to it, of course. But it was still true enough to make the British rely more on the friendship of Muslims than Hindus in 1947, especially among brother officers in the Indian Army, ICS and IPS. On the other hand, Nehru was a great admirer of Soviet Russia, and his close colleague, Krishna Menon, was fully communist. Also, Menon did not want India to remain in the Commonwealth. He hated the British. Had India left the Commonwealth at that moment, it would have not want to retire like a whipped dog. So they naturally sympathized with people who were sympathetic to them. But they did not murder Gandhi. Look at the character of Nathuram Godse. He would be the last person on earth to cooperate with the British. That's one. After mine, who are invading India, and these Australian people have come as part of this Quartermain conspiracy. And I showed how they did a night attack on us and captured Boys Town, and then they were interrogating the hostages. They were interrogating